I just turned mine on though, cause you may have a viewer one. It's live now. Hi everyone. We're starting this Google Hangout, and I'm Sharifa Taylor. I'm the historian and treasurer for the biology club here at Xavier. And today we're going to be selecting a major, the resources that there are here at Xavier University. Also, some information about our biology department, since this is the biology club, and also some information about changing your major and some other thoughts we have about our experience as students here at Xavier. There'll be some other students from the club joining us. So that's just my basic introduction. So hopefully they'll come on soon. I guess I just selecting a major, but yeah, so I'm trying to help her figure it out. Yeah, you could just talk about some of the things about major until
So while we wait for the connection to be established to the rest of the people participating in the Hangout, I'm going to talk to you, all the viewers here, about positive aspects of your experience here at Xavier. Uh, as a HBC community, Xavier is definitely taking a lot of proactive steps to ensuring that you have multiple topic discussions with your peers about what you can do to improve your educational experience. There are also many people who are like-minded and think about the same career paths that you take. It's not like other universities where there's like there may be like a specific focus on one career path or another, but it's generally a helpful and fostering environment when your fellow students are just as concerned as helping and fostering African American scholarship more than people outside the university. Um, okay. It looks like our connection has been reestablished. I'll let Sharifa take over from me.
yes, there's one viewer. That is Matthew. I was gonna say yes. Okay. Hi everybody, it's me again. So I just wanted to start off this Google Hangout by talking about some tips for selecting a major here at Xavier. So we have this building called the St. Joseph's Resource Center, where there are many offices. There is the office of it's our study abroad office. It's called CIIP. I'm not exactly sure what that means right now, but it's study abroad. And so if you visit that as a freshman, you can find out ways to what countries you'd want to go to based off of your major or just based off your interest, about where you could go and study abroad in the world and get credit for that. You wouldn't do that freshman year, like you wouldn't study abroad freshman year, but you would get the information freshman year so that your you could plan your curriculum around that. But one very important step you could do when selecting your major could be the Office of Career Services. you would want to visit them because they have a personality or an interest test. And what you do with that is um, you take the test and it asks you a series of maybe 50 questions, and you click on some images. And what you would do is your results will tell you careers that you want to do, and it tells you a range of careers, whether that's a high school, like with a high school education, a bachelor's or master's or higher than that, and that can help guide you in the direction of selecting your major. Now, I personally am a public health major. I changed from being chemistry pre-med, and I'm in my third year here at Xavier. I'll be a senior in the fall. And I took this test recently because I didn't feel fulfilled as a chemistry major, and also because of some of my performance in the courses. I just felt like it wasn't the best decision for me. So taking this test I found very beneficial, but also I think that it can help you as a freshman to not maybe have those challenges, and just to make the transition a little smoother. One thing you could do is to come to Xavier undecided and take some of your essential core classes, which would be like your English or maybe your foreign language or something, and you would gain status as, you'd be more year and you'd gain status so that you could gain access to those other classes. But while you're taking those classes, they can tell you what you like, and that would help you better select a major. So now someone who actually is a biology major, hopefully, in this club, will come and talk to you about what it's like being a biology major and some of the classes they have to take, and also, I don't want to say pros and cons, but just their take on what it is to be in the biology department. So here comes Kayla. She's our current president.
Hello, everyone. It's a bad hair day for me, so excuse that. So yes, I am a senior, and I will be graduating in May 9th, thankfully. So I've been here at Xavier for 4 years. I started out as a biology major, and I'm finishing as a biology major. My experience here has been a very good one. I feel like I've really learned a lot from the professors. I can say that the professors here really do care about you. I feel like they really are concerned about your well-being. They're concerned about seeing you do well in each of your classes. So if you come into Xavier, you have 2 general biology classes that you'll be taking. It's kind of, I guess, a run-through of, like a basic level run-through of all of the upper level classes that you'll eventually take when you get to my level. When you're your first semester, freshman year, you're going to take General Biology 1, and excuse me, the second semester will be General Biology 2, and you have a lab with both of those. And in those classes, you'll get to, I guess, get a feel of what it's like to study on your own, really. In taking college courses, you'll be able to have a lot of lab experience, hands-on experience. I like those 2 classes a lot. And after that, you'll move on to upper-level biology courses such as microbiology, genetics, and there's a really great number of different electives that you can take. Currently, I'm taking histology and immunology as my electives, and I love both of those classes. Histology is my favorite so far because it's really a hands-on class. You get to really look through the microscope and see what's going on in your body, what your tissues should look like. That's histology. That's what it's, the class is over. The study of tissue. That's what it's called. But being here, a biology major here at Xavier, most of us are on a pre-med track, but there are so many different things that you can do with biology. You can teach, you can research, you can work for the government, you can, there's just so many different avenues. So I would say when you get here, don't just, if you feel like medicine isn't for you, don't feel discouraged. Just try out a lot of different things. There's so many programs that we offer here. I'm sure if you go to the Office of Career Graduate Placement, they can set you up with a lot of different things. Even the pre-med office, there's a lot of different opportunities that they offer as well. And yeah, I personally love my experience here at Xavier. And I think you will too if you decide to come here. I would say that it's really important for you to start getting building relationships with your professors when you get here. Don't be scared to talk to them. Most of them are really, really nice, you know. So don't be scared of them. Go and talk to them. Um, okay, yes. And so sometimes when people come in as a biology major, they find out they really don't, they may not like it so much, and that's okay too. It's really about what's good for you. So next we're gonna have Matthew again, and he's gonna be talking about what it's like to change your major, if you like to do that. Just a moment.
All right. So I'm going to take over now and talk about major changes. Signs that you should start changing your major. um, I guess the most important one is motivation to continue doing what you're doing. You know, there comes a point, at least this was the case for me. I came in with some expectations of how a major would be, and once you take the classes, you know that changes, and the time for whether or not this happens or not can vary from individual to individual, and then you just have to make a decision whether you'd like to stay or not. Um, Pros, you will probably be much less stressed, a little bit more upbeat on your college experience. However, as a con, you do set yourself back a little bit in your academic calendar, and it could be a little bit more costly, seeing as you might have to stay an extra semester or two to get all the hours that you need. Um, I was previously a biology major for my freshman year. I thoroughly enjoyed biology coming through high school, but uh, and I was pre-med track going through, but after a while it just didn't appeal to me as much as when I went in. And this doesn't apply to everyone, of course, but I I still like biology, and I like reading articles about it on the internet and such. I find I'm less of a hands-on person with biology than I'd like to imagine myself to be. But I changed my major to computer science last semester, and it's been overall a great experience. Dr. Edwards uh, took me in and showed me the summer program, and I really enjoyed teaching kids about Android, iOS, um, different Apple applications, and even helping them create their own apps for their mobile devices. Well, so you know, it can be an overall positive experience changing your major. It might be a jump off a cliff. Who knows? But it varies from person to person, and I can tell you it was just the right thing for me, at least so far. I may regret it later, but uh, that's all I have to talk about regarding major changes, and we will go back to Sharif for her experience.
Hi guys, it's me again. Okay, so I also have changed my major as I mentioned earlier on in this hangout, and I changed from being chemistry pre-med to being public health. So as I'm going into my senior year, that probably sounds like, oh, that's a terrible decision. Why would you do that, right? So I'll tell you some of my motivations for changing my major. So for, I would say, about a year and a half, I thought about changing my major, but because I was pretty far in, even though I hadn't taken many of my major classes yet, most of mine were the essential core, as I was talking about earlier. I had quite a bit of credits under my belt, and I didn't want to waste what I had already done. Now, just to clarify for any understand what the essential core is, those are classes that you have to take regardless of what major you are. So if you're undecided, you would be taking those first. So I wasn't losing anything by changing my major because I hadn't really taken that many of my major classes. So what I did with my major as chemistry, I changed it so that my minor for being public health. Now, this past year, not this specific school year, but I would say maybe December 2016, that's when I decided to change my major for sure. I'm sorry, that's I'm talking in the future, but I meant December 2014. So officially to change my major. But what I did was I went and talked to people in that field. Now, one of the professors here, she came to talk to biology club about, and I listened to that presentation, and I thought, wow, this sounds a lot like what I think that I wanted to do, but because I had never been introduced to that information, I didn't have the tools or information to make that decision. So once I heard that, I thought more about what she said and did some research independently and found out that, hey, this is something I like. So what I did was I looked in the current catalog, which I'll explain that in a second, and I found out what courses I would need to take and how many I had versus how many I had left. So at the time, I had 36 credit hours left of my major, which would be like a semester and a half, or it could be 2 semesters if you did 18 both semesters. And so I didn't have that much left, and that would be basically how much time I have left. I'm about to be a senior, so that'd be a year. And so, it seems like it wouldn't make sense maybe to change your major if you don't have that little left. But I'm in the case, I'm not embarrassed to say this, where I have to retake 1 or 2 classes, so it's not like I'm going to graduate 100% on time. I'm going to graduate in the summer after the year when I'm supposed to graduate. So I'm supposed to be 16, I'll graduate in August. And so it doesn't really set me back. So that was a motivation. It wasn't that much of a change. And then also it was a better decision because it was more what I wanted to do and I felt more fulfilled in my classes. So when I went and talked to people in the public health department, the professor that I specifically talked to, she had a chemistry degree also, and she was saying how she didn't really connect with the material, but she graduated. And for me, I was having challenges in my major classes, so I was like, it's kind of going to be a challenge to get out in a reasonable amount of time. I might as well change my major. I'm not losing anything, right? So that's what I chose to do. And one of the pros is I'm happier. I decided that I want to do a master's or a doctorate program in public health and change my major to public health. Gives me the courses. They'll set me up for that. But just to clarify for anyone who's not aware about public health, you don't need to to get a bachelor's in public health to go to public health. You can have a degree in anything. So that's important to know. A con would be you could be set back in your graduation. Of course, you can take summer classes, you can take online classes, and it makes more sense for you to stay longer in order to get a degree that you're happy with and that you'll be able to use. That's a decision you'll have to make. Obviously, there's financial considerations, as Matthew talked about, like you could be here longer, so that could be more expensive. But say you wanted to graduate from this university, there's information in the catalog about how you could take classes at another university and have it go towards your degree here, but you could still graduate. Thank you. So here's a copy of our current catalog, the 2014 to 2016 one. And in this catalog, I'll show you the page of the biology department one. But basically, there's information, or actually, I won't show you the biology because this is a personal copy. But here's that's what I do. I write in it. Don't feel embarrassed. So here's one just in general. So this shows like the courses you're gonna take for each year, and it'll tell you like how many credits total you'll be taking, and just a summary of what that means. Obviously, you can't probably read this, but there is an online copy on Xavier, and there should be an online copy for whatever school you choose to go to. But when you look at this, this can help you know what classes you're going to take. And that was the tip that someone from my church gave me. They were like, look up your courses and know what your curriculum is so that you can be sure that that's what you want to do. Now, for me, coming into chemistry, I only had general chemistry in high school. So I thought, oh, we're just balancing equations, talking about acids and bases. And that's true, but there's a lot of other stuff like organic chemistry, and anyone who's taken organic chemistry, including myself, will tell you that's not a fun class. So if you don't like stuff like that, you might want to think about what that means. And so for me telling you that, you should look in the back of your catalog where they have course descriptions. So this specific page is talking about like physics and stuff. I personally think physics is interesting. I would never major in physics, but this is just specifically, it tells you like what the course numbers are, what the topic of the course is called, what the prerequisites are. Sometimes there can be co-requisites, meaning you take them at the same time. And also it tells you what semester that it should take place in, and also if it can count for your expansive core. So those are just some things you might want to look at so that you are more informed when making your decision. Something else to say is me changing my major this late. So on this, you can see that 14, 16. When I came in in 2012. So mine was 2012 to 2014. So I would, if I had stayed chemistry, I would have finished out using that. But since I changed my major more recently, I have to use this new catalog here. So that's an important consideration because your program could change. For me, that did not happen, but it could change. They could take a class out, they could add a class. Obviously, you benefit if they took a class out. But, that's something to consider because you may not want to spend extra time being that you would have to take more classes. So that's something you could think of. Also, public health here is a new program, but so when I started, it was in its first year. I didn't know about it. Also, as I said, I didn't know about it at all. But that could be a consideration too. Like if you're unaware of all the programs that your school offers, that may be more challenging for you when choosing your major. But I definitely suggest thinking about being undecided if you're 100% unsure. Now, in my case, I came to school, I was like, yeah, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor since I was a kid. I may be a PhD doctor. You never know. And that's very important too. You do research, you can teach students, which is even more important because you're influencing the minds of the future. Like there's a lot of things you can do, and you may not think that with what you're doing now, you may not think that, this decision is important. Wow. I'm speaking in tongues, I guess. You may not think that this decision is important, but it is because one thing I should bring up is that you have to take a comprehensive exam. So it's like a subject test for the, I took the ACT, so I don't remember if we had subject tests, but I think the SAT definitely does. And so it's like taking a subject test, except for it's a lot more information because it's college level. So you need to know a lot about it. And so that's an important consideration too. That was one of the reasons I chose to change my major is because I was like, if I can barely get through some of the lower level classes, like organic chemistry, which is a 2400 level class, that means after general chemistry, which was a 1000 level class, which is like one of the first classes you would take. How could I get through the other ones? And it's not that I didn't believe in myself. It's just, realistically looking at how I performed in the class already. What was I retaking a major class? That was a decision I chose to make. So that's something to think about too. If you don't think you're passionate about what you're choosing as a major, or if you don't think that you're even interested in it, just think about how much difficult that would be when you're taking the senior exam because you need to pass the exam. There's only one major, because I was talking about this with my friend, there's only one major where you don't have to take a senior comprehensive exam, and that's for education, but you do have to take the practice exam, so it's not like you're getting out of taking an exam, you were becoming a certified teacher. So you need to make sure that this is something you're dedicated to passing, because you do need to pass, and you will have to stay here until you pass exam. And to my understanding, the senior comprehensive exam is done both semesters. Because I talked to someone in public health, and that's how they said theirs is. So you have 2 opportunities to take it, but you do need to pass it, and each major is specific about what percentage you need to pass. So I would at least say, think about it like with school. If you have a C that is a 70% minimum, that's between a 70 and a 79. So that means that you need to at least be passing like that. So think about that as a consideration. I definitely talked a lot, but I hope that what I said was valuable. I'm not sure if anyone else who's here, because there's other people here besides the 2 people you met, want to say something. Do you want to say something, Janice? Okay, so Janice is coming over here. You're a freshman, right? Yeah, she's a freshman. This is actually her copy of the catalog. Not that you really needed to know, but she's coming over here to talk to you about her experience or something else. So here is Janice. Here you go.
Okay. Hello, my name is Denise, and as you introduced already, I am a freshman, and I will be talking to you about what you guys will do. I am currently a biology pre-med major, as most people are. The majority of this campus is biology pre-med or chemistry pre-pharm. So be prepared to see a lot of science majors. It will happen, and it's a great introductory thing. But in terms of your freshman year, the general course though is around 16 credit hours, and it can go as low as 14 or 12 if you want to be like part-time, or 18, which is not entirely recommended from my perspective, but that's just me. Because I recommend you take between 14 and 16 for your first year, because that's when you're truly getting accommodated to the area. That's when everyone throws a lot of information at you. If you are biology pre-med, we have the biomedical honor corps. We have meetings every week on Monday at 4:15 or 5:15, and that just tells you more information about what is required for not only the school, and also just if you want on your track to medical school. So they'll give you front-loaded information about when to take the MCAT, what type of classes that are recommended to take that are not necessarily required, but it looks good and helps you in the future with medical school, and also just how to get the proper study habits and looking at your GPA and calculating. Because now that we are in college, it's a lot different than high school in terms of calculating your GPA. As she mentioned earlier, well, I don't know, did you mention? Well, okay, you have hours, and 18 hours, 16 hours, 14 hours, whatever it is. And for each class, it counts for that specific amount of hours. So let's say you got an A in freshman seminar, which you will have to take. I will talk about that maybe later. Let's say you got an A in freshman seminar. That's 4 points for the A, and freshman seminar is 1 credit hour. Let's say you got an A in biology, which is 3 credit hours. Biology, you'd have to take biology the class and then biology lab also. So that's 3 hours and then 1 hour, so 4 hours total. So let's say you got an A in both. So that's 4 times your 4 for your A, and then 4 times 1 for your B. So you have whatever that math is. Let's say that's 5, because 4 plus 1 is 5. So that's 5 times 4, and then you divide that by the total number. Since you just have A's, it's easy, it's 4.0. So let's say you have your biology with an A, your freshman seminar with an A, and then your chemistry with a B. So that's 3 hours and 3 GPA points. That calculates to something else, which my lovely advisor over there will be calculating because she is awesome. And that will be your GPA for the thing. But going back to freshman seminar is lovely.
You can talk about whatever you want. We're just trying to get them to understand.
Yeah, so freshman seminar is a lovely year-long course that you take as a freshman. It is 1 hour credit, and it will typically be at 11 o'clock. You have to do a portfolio, an essay, and it's just another group of other freshmen, so you guys can talk about your experiences here. You might have to write some blogs, and there will be a book that you read that is voted on by us currently this year. And you'll read it, and the author may or may not visit, and typically it's really cool. This past year, we read The Dressmaker of Karakana, and then the author came to visit us, and she talked about her book. It was about refugees, well, not refugees, but a small entrepreneur in Afghanistan, Kabul, and of her struggles during the Taliban regime. And the first semester you do the reading. The second semester you have the joy of doing service learning. So that because our school's mission is to prepare independent-minded thinkers, critical learners, and service learners to help with the overall curriculum, and just to go out and work in this ever-changing global society, community, whatever you'd like to call it. So freshman seminar helps with that because you get to learn about the issues of not only the school, because you guys talk as a group, but also you get to go out and help the community, the immediate New Orleans area, depending on what your class chooses to do or your teacher. Ours was Zayla, my other friend, she did Roots of Music where they tutored. It can vary from thing to thing. And as you come to college, not only with the freshman seminar and the classes, there's balancing the social free time. Naps are your friend. It sounds weird, but it's very helpful. As you go through classes, it's not like where you are now in high school where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you're free to go. You can have it in the morning, you can have it in the evening, you can have it at night. I have it. I didn't like last semester. I had mine, so it was like 10 o'clock, break, and then it was like 1 o'clock and break. But that's what happens. But now you don't get to make your schedule your first semester. Know that. But your second semester, you do. So be prepared. This is your friend. And you get it right before you make your schedule. It's your friend. And you can annotate it however you'd like. I did because this is serious. You know, if you transfer credits in, those help out. If you don't, well, you have work to do. It'll be interesting. But as a freshman, you will need to get your advisor card signed. And that can be for bonus points or just in general if you have any questions about how Xavier works, what's the social life like, what's it like to get research, because research is a good thing. What's it like, how you can improve what you're doing or how you can maintain the good grades or not so good grades that you want to improve upon. Just in general life, typically, in my opinion, but some advisors may not be that way. I don't know. I only have one. And now we have our lovely next year's president, Miss Asia. By the way, I'm your VP next year.
Hi, my name is Asia. I'll be the new president next year. I am currently a sophomore biology pre-med major, and something about the major that I would definitely say is just to make sure that you're passionate about it and that you're motivated and that you're focused, because it's something that you do want to take serious from freshman year all the way up. So make sure that you are motivated throughout the whole time, because sometimes people tend to not take it serious at the beginning and then they try to boost themselves back up, and that may not be the best option. So I would definitely say that as far as Xavier, there's a lot of support everywhere as far as the professors, your advisors, tutoring, and I think that's definitely something that as a bio major you should definitely take advantage of as far as all the support that you have around you and that Xavier offers and what the biology club offers as well. And so I would definitely say that it isn't a walk in the park, and as long as you know what you're here for and you know your goals, and if you don't know your goals, that's okay too, but as long as you know that you're here for yourself and for your family and for, you know, it's for the betterment of yourself, then you'll be motivated. But as far as Xavier as a community, we all working to build each other and to make sure that everybody is, you know, taken care of, everybody's supported, that everybody has each other's back. So, and as far as being a sophomore, I've been here not long, but a little bit long enough. I'm kind of in the middle just so. Yeah. Study groups. Yes. Use the tutoring center. The tutoring center is your friend because they always help you. And also, if you do have problems studying or however you transition yourself from high school to college, you definitely want to find yourself and how you study and how you can work to, you know, get the grades that you want. You definitely want to study yourself, use study groups, use tutoring, and use all the resources that you have, as well as balancing out your time as far as, having fun or going to movies with your friends. You also don't want to make your education your whole complete life. You want to balance. So that's definitely a big thing, especially being in the city of New Orleans and having a lot of different cultural events going on. It's important that you can balance your life so that you're not completely stressed out. And so, but as long as you know yourself and you get to know yourself, then I think that you'll be okay as long as being motivated and having the support around you. It definitely gets easier. Well, you learn how to cope with it easier. So, and the biology club will help you as well to cope and to be supportive. So the biology club, well, Denise is coming back to talk for 1 second, but thanks again.
Just a small note before our wonderful person, or not, or one other member will be coming to talk to you. Dorm life, be prepared for communal showers and communal bathrooms. It's interesting to say the least. Yeah. Yes, it's interesting. No. Well, it's not too big. It's not that bad.
Hi everybody, I'm bringing the humanities side. Sharifa asked me to talk about my experience as an English major. I came here as a biochemistry major and I changed my major the first day because we didn't do what I wanted in lab. It wasn't what I expected. I expected fireworks and fire, but we were like safety, so I was like, this isn't for me. So I changed my major, and I've been really pleased with my humanities education. And 2 classes, you're going to take history, you're going to take your English, you're going to take communications, you're going to take the whole gamut of everything, and you want to be able to feel like you're doing well in those classes as well. So my suggestion is to read. That's the #1 thing, because I realized that reading the material, especially out of the book, and taking notes and making time for studying for these classes that even though they're not in your major, they're still very important for you to graduate. And #2 thing is to talk to your teacher. Even if it's not your advisor, you want to talk to your teacher and have a good relationship with them so that they know that you're doing your best and they're doing everything that they can to help you. So, and as was stated earlier, there are a lot of biology and chemistry people on this campus, and sometimes that can be a little awkward, but overall it's good because I get a good mix of science into my daily learning too. And just because there are a lot of science doesn't mean there isn't a lot of humanities stuff going on. There's theater, which is new. We've got Nubian expressions, and we've also got research opportunities for people who are in the humanities. So if you do end up changing your major to something not in the sciences, that doesn't mean you don't have to do research. You have all sorts of options, and you shouldn't feel limited just to anything. And since I'm talking in the biology club, even though I am not in biology, it's still applicable to me because this is a great club. All right, that's all.
So a lot of things have been said, and I hope they're valuable. Kayla's going to come back on really quickly and talk with you about the pre-med office here, which is what Xavier's most known for. So this is some very valuable information.
Hey y'all. Back once again, don't mind my hair. Yeah, so I am on the pre-med track, I guess. So if you feel like you want to do anything that has to, and by the way, you don't have to be a biology or chemistry major to go to medical school. The pre-med office here is just to help you, I guess, get prepared and take the required courses to apply to medical school, and they help you along the way. So when you get here, you're going to have different meetings, freshman meetings. They call this, I guess, group the biomedical honor corps, and that's what you're going to be in, like, from freshman to senior year. So your freshman year, they're gonna help you to get your personal statement together, and that's just like, I guess, sort of a declaration of why you want to go to medical school, what you feel like you can offer medicine, the medical field, whatever. They'll tell you how to, what you should include in it, and everything. And they'll really just help you and guide you when it comes to summer programs, which you'll have to do each summer if you can. They recommend that just to, I guess, get more experience and to show medical schools that you really are interested in this field. And they'll help you to get research opportunities. That looks really good as well. They just basically help you and prepare you up until it's time for you to start applying to medical school. Which you'll do your spring semester of your junior year. They also help you and set you up with different MCAT prep courses because you have to take the MCAT to be able to apply and get into medical school. What I would say about the pre-med offices, a lot of people kind of just slack. They'll be really good about coming to the meetings and doing the required or suggested activities, but then they'll fall off throughout the year. And I would say that if you do what you're supposed to do, it will help. Go to the meetings, do your personal statement on time, do your resume, continue to work on those throughout your 4 years so that you're not at the end trying to compile all these different activities and community service hours and everything that may just be all over the place. So they'll help you with that. There's a lady named Miss QV. She's over the pre-med office, and you'll really get to know her and have a lot of interaction with her. But I feel like they really help you, and if you do what you're supposed to do, it's gonna work out in your favor, I would say. Yeah, pre-med is a good track if you want to do that. I'm on that track right now. And even if you decide that you don't necessarily want to do pre-med, that office has a lot of different other things that they can expose you to, a lot of different connections, just in case you might feel like you want to do research more so, or anything like that. Anybody else? No, nobody. Nobody else. Am I talking about? I don't know what I'm supposed to be talking about right now. I'm sorry. That's it. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope it helped you, and I hope it answered a lot of your questions. I won't be here when you guys get here, but a lot of the people, everybody else who talked to you, I believe, will still be here. So you see their face, make sure you go and they're really nice. They'll be open to any questions that you might have. And I really hope you choose to come here. And if you do, I'm sure you're going to have a really great experience. Just make sure you stay motivated and stay focused. And you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So, yeah, thanks again for tuning in. I don't know how to turn this off. Yes. So you can follow us on basically all social media at Xula Biology Club. It's Xula Biology Club, all one word. We have a Tumblr, we have Instagram, Twitter. I believe we have Facebook. So, yes. Sharif is back, and I'll let her close this out, I guess. That's the end.
Hi everybody. Just in case you're wondering why I kept coming to and from the screen, I was kind of the moderator, even though I had some stuff to say too. But one thing I did want to say, which I don't know if anyone covered, is the graduate placement office. So the graduate placement office goes along with the Office of Career Services, and they teach you, well, not really teach you, but they help you understand how to apply for graduate school. So as Shanice said, or maybe someone else, I'm sorry, as someone has said earlier, that you may not go to medical school with your biology or whatever degree. You might want to go to graduate school. And so the graduate placement office helps you understand the they help you understand the process of applying to graduate school. So that could mean a master's program, which often you pay for, or a doctorate program, which sometimes can be paid for, or most often is paid for. And they'll tell you the differences because there's a terminal doctorate program, and there's another guy. I forgot the name of it, but basically there's one where like you can get a master's along the way, or where you go straight to getting a PhD. So they'll tell you the differences, and they'll help you with the process, like the pre-med office would. And that's important because you want to make sure you read your emails from them and you do the things they're saying, as Kayla was saying about the pre-med office, because just going to a couple meetings isn't going to help you like doing the actual work. And I know my freshman year I did not feel like I had enough to say for the personal statement, so I kind of put off doing mine. And that's not a good idea. Like, even if you have something that's completely terrible, they'll help you edit it in the pre-med office. Now, we also have a writing lab, which Simone may have talked about, and they can help you, of course, because they help with writing. They can help you edit your statement. So definitely work on it. As you get experiences, you can edit and add things. But it's just important to use all the services here, because it's not that these services are free, but they are included in your tuition. So you're paying for them even if you do not use them. And also, something I want to talk about is we have a counseling center. So this can be emotional counseling, but it also can be school counseling, and they can help lead you towards these other offices. They work in the same building, so those are their coworkers, but also they're familiar with what they do or what they're supposed to do. So we've talked about a lot. This has almost been a complete hour, so thank you if you sat here the entire time and watched all of it. And I hope that this information was helpful for you. I'm going to create a post on our Tumblr, which is xulabiologyclub.tumblr.com, and reiterate some of this information in more simple form. Also, already linked to this video was the link to this. So you may be seeing this because hopefully this will be on the Xavier website, so that anyone applying can see it. But if not, there's definitely going to be a link on our Tumblr. So hopefully if you need some information, you're just typing on the internet, you'll see that. So thank you for watching. We all appreciate you taking your time out to watch this, and we hope this information was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please comment below this video. Also, I don't know if we have an ask on our Tumblr, but if you have questions on that, you can leave questions if that's available. And also, you can write comments onto the post for the link to this video. So there's tons of ways to get in contact with us. We have a Twitter, which is also XULA Biology Club. And we also have Instagram, which is the same name, XULA Biology Club. We're going to be more up to date with that in the upcoming future. But we hope that any information we provided today will be helpful for you, and that you look at those resources, and we'll try and find some other resources to submit to you. So, even if you were not to choose Xavier, which Xavier is a great school, just take some of these tips, and hopefully they'll help you and anyone else you know applying to college right now make your best decision and make things a little smoother for you. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching.